Hey, what's going on, everybody? Justin here, and in this video we're going to be doing take 2 of Chapter Kate's Humbook Tag. I previously recorded this a couple days ago, but due to unforeseen circumstances, I think like 3 of my videos that I recorded have been corrupted and destroyed and whatnot, so we're going to have to record them again. So that's why this one is a little late. I've tried to have this one up before the new year, but be as it may, the show must go on, so let's just go ahead and get started. And this is kind of just a fun, kind of silly tag just to get out some of the negativity of 2020, I think, dealing with some like sort of trivial stuff that are kind of like bookish related and whatnot. I'll leave Kate's original video down below. Definitely go check it out and check out other people's renditions of this tag as well, because there are some pretty funny answers, I guess, to some of the questions. But let's just go ahead and get started. All right, question number 1: what kind of cover art turns you off? And mine is definitely like photos of like real people, especially with like fantasy books, but sometimes with history books too, like people basically role-playing or cosplaying, I guess, characters from the book and stuff. I just think it looks really weird. I don't know, I just think illustrations and like original artwork or like drawings or paintings or whatever, just a lot better, even if it is like digital art and stuff. I don't know, it's just something about the, like I said, the photograph of like a person on like a fantasy book just totally just takes it away from me. I don't know, I just can't stand it. But you know, it's just some books, that's just like what there is, I guess, but just not what I like. Question number 2: what do you hate most about a book cover that's not the design? I'm going to cheat and I'm going to count not design as not like dealing with like the artwork and stuff. And what I can't stand with books, and especially with nonfiction, I see it the most often, is when the title or the author's name, but especially the subtitle, when it is in all lowercase. For whatever reason, it's just like in all lowercase. Like, I feel like, I don't know if it's just my, like, I don't know, being like proper or whatever, I just feel like the first word, at least of the subtitle, should be capitalized. But, you know, preferably, you know, every word that's not like an article should be capitalized, I feel like. But unless it's like a book on like language or something where it actually would make sense to kind of like underline it, or not underline it, use lowercase letters. I guess I just don't know what the meaning behind, like what the reasoning behind using lowercase letters is for like the entire thing. I don't know, I just don't like it, and yeah, that's what I hate about another thing I hate about book covers. Question number 3: when reading a synopsis, what can make you yeet the book? I very rarely actually even read synopses. I usually just go more by like what other like book reviewers have said and or written up or whatever. Though I have to say, especially with nonfiction, well, yeah, with nonfiction, it's like when in the synopsis or on the back cover it says like, you know, and so brings this topic, whether it's like a science book or history book or whatever, brings it to life or makes pages like come alive or whatever. I don't know, I just, for some reason, that just like doesn't do it for me. I know that's like a very common way of like putting it, but I just feel like that's like just like overused and overdone and stuff, and I don't know, I don't know, it just doesn't like mean anything to me. Question number 4: what trope makes you want to scream into the abyss? Before we get on to that question, I want to promote my Etsy shop with, you know, this very smooth transition, since we're talking about abysses and stuff. So I got a famous quote by Nietzsche here. You know, he who fights with the monster shall look to it that he himself does not become a monster. And if you gaze long into the abyss also gazes into you. I almost like screwed that one up for some reason. Just, you know, I had a halfway decent transition and I just ruined it. But anyways, if you want to support the channel in any way, shape, or form, just going even like on my Etsy shop and liking items or favoriting the shop, things like that really help out. And obviously, if you want to buy some items, I got some bookish related items, some different authors, philosophy stuff, Viking stuff, all kinds of cool stuff kind of going on. I'm gonna start adding some more things coming soon. Yeah, that was, you know, a plug for my Etsy shop. But on to the answer. Something that makes me want to scream into the abyss for a trope is definitely when I'm dealing with like sort of some sort of apprenticeship, or when like a character is like learning a new skill or activity or like kind of role or trait or something, or like job or something. Obviously, like the big one is like, you know, when you learn to become like stealthy or an assassin or how to kill people or this or that. I just feel like this is like most of the time it's just done very poorly, and like, you know, you become basically a scrub who knows nothing about whatever you're doing, whether it's like I said, becoming an assassin or blacksmithing or learning how to sword fight or whatever it is, or magic. And then all of a sudden within 6 months, because of the Grandmaster's tutelage or whatever, you basically become like one of the greatest people who have ever walked the earth with that skill. And that's just not how it works. Just taking like woodworking and stuff, like you could, even if you gave me probably like a team of like the best woodworkers like ever, you give me like a couple months with them, yeah, I'll get a lot better. There's no way I'm gonna become like a master woodworker in like 3 or 4 months or even like a year. Like that's just, especially with like hand tools and stuff, that's just not how it works. You can't like just fast track these types of things. I don't know, I just think the apprenticeship trope is just, it's just garbage. Like I haven't read it yet where it's actually been like done really well. All right, question number 5. What book induces rage the moment it's mentioned in your presence? And I have several books, but I'm going to save some for later. I'm going to go with a history work for this one, and it's How the Irish Saved Civilization. This is actually one of the only works of like history that have come up like numerous times in my life, like just talking to people, whether that's at the library or whatever. And lots of people just adore this book, and I don't know if just because, you know, it has like, I will say it has a really good title. That's like its greatest selling point, for sure. But, you know, the premise of the book, you know, that the Irish saved civilization because they essentially copied like the Greek and Latin manuscripts, whatever, and were able to transcribe them for, you know, other generations, and they would have been kind of lost forgotten. Even the author basically admits that's not really kind of true, like, because other peoples were kind of doing, maybe not to the same extent, but especially like in Byzantium, they had never like lost it in the first place and stuff. I think it's just overdone. I didn't think it was like particularly like well written, anything like that. I don't know, and it's just people get really defensive about it, I think, because like, you know, if you don't like the book, obviously you hate Irish people, which is like, I've never understood like kind of like that kind of like line of reasoning. It's not like I don't like Irish people, I just thought the book was, you know, kind of trash. But I think it's also like one of my, like, it's in my top like 3 or 4 most disliked review or videos, let alone just reviews, I think, on my channel. So, you know, that's just one that really irritates me and induces rage. All right, question number 6. What could someone say when recommending a book to you that could be that could break your trust in them? For me, it would basically be if you are selling like this fantasy work or whatever, well, presumably it's fantasy or some sort of fiction, and all you can tell me that's like super great about it, or that's like best selling point, is the world building. I can't stand, like, I don't care about the world building. I'm like a character driven person when it comes to fantasy and stuff, and I don't know, like the setting and like world building, I just think is sort of just like fluff. Like obviously it's nice if it's like really well done, but I don't know, I just feel like a lot, like everyone, they just sat down for a day and came up with some really cool and like imaginative ideas and stuff. Anyone could just like create a really cool world or really cool setting and like kind of just build on it and have some decent world building. I think it's just, it takes a lot more to get great characters, and then almost as much to have like a really good plot with those great characters. And I think the setting is more just sort of, like I said, it's just kind of fluff. So if all you're selling me on the book is just how cool the, you know, the world building setting is, I'm just like, obviously it doesn't have anything else going for it. So that's what I say on that issue. Let's see, question number 7 is, what author would you like to fight? So I've got 2 of them. The first one is Brandon Sanderson. Not because I don't really know anything about him per se, but for some reason he has become like the Lord of Fantasy, and it's more his fan base. It's like every time he like puts out a work, which is like 1,000 words, it's like basically a book a day at this point or something, you know, it's always hailed as like the greatest thing that's like ever been written up to that point, and I just have never understood it. So I kind of just want to fight Brandon Sanderson, just, I don't know, just so he can, like, you know, let other people get the limelight for a little bit, just have their like chance in the sun. I don't know, I don't have anything against them. Like I said, I don't condone violence, is part of the question. The other one is Patrick Rothfuss, and I have not read any of his works, but I have seen him on like YouTube and stuff at like panels or doing like questions and stuff, and he's kind of a punk. Like he is like a total jerk to some of the people that like, ask him questions and stuff like that. So I guess that's why I would want to fight Patrick Rothfuss, so he's not such a, yeah, just a pompous, condescending writer, I guess, to like his fans and like other readers and just people in general. So those are the two fantasy authors I would go up and fight if, you know, I really had to based on the questions. Question number 8. What characters would you like to dropkick? So, kind of staying on the theme of Brandon Sanderson, it would be Kaladin Stormblessed from the Stormlight Archive, because apparently he's just like the most like ungodly, perfect Gary Stu character ever, and I just can't stand him. Like, I just don't like his character arc. I don't like anything about him. I have to read about him all the time, and I've read 3 out of the 4. And I've dedicated like 1,000 pages of my life to reading about him, and I can't stand him. So I just want to drop kick him because, you know, I mean, of course he'd go like Super Saiyan 10,000 or something on me, you know, if I did that, and give me a lecture on how that's like not great leadership or nice and blah 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 blah. I don't know, but still, I still like to do it. Now for a history figure, I was trying to think of some history figures, and I'd like to. I originally wrote down Emperor Tiberius from Rome, because he was just like a really annoying. He had the world on a silver platter. He was like super uber annoying and paranoid, and to be honest, he was pretty milquetoast. But he was also kind of like a pedophile-ish kind of weirdo creepo too as well. So I'd like to drop kick him, but also just like thinking about it for the past like minute or two when I knew this question was coming up. Also was thinking about Commodus, who, if you've seen Gladiator, like that emperor is based on Commodus. Obviously it's a little inaccurate, and I say a little, but you know, yeah, he was kind of a punk too, and he actually thought he was like Hercules and this and that. So if you know Roman history, he was not so great either. But you know, I'll just stick with one of those two emperors I would like to drop kick from my historical readings. All right, question number 9. If Goodreads was a person, what would you bully them for? Like I said, bullying is not good, but for the sake of the question, I'm gonna just go. Lots of people have had pretty good answers to this. There's a lot of problems going on with Goodreads. I'm gonna go with just the general aesthetic. Like, it looks like it's from like my dial-up era, from like childhood. It's like all like tans and browns, and rectangles, and I don't know what's going on. Like, since I've been on BookTube, I don't think it's changed like once. And yeah, I just think it looks old and bad, and just looks like a decrepit old website that, you know, should kind of be like swept aside at some point. But yeah, that's what I'm just gonna go with the general aesthetic look of the website. And number 10, if you could ban anything trivial from all books forever, what would it be? I got 2 really trivial ones. The first one is when describing characters for the first time, usually like one of the go-to things in that kind of like paragraph where they talk about them, you know, usually kind of might get like hair, like kind of like their height or build or whatever. It's usually they also describe the nose, and I don't know why, but like all the time I read about hawk noses and hook noses, and I just think it's weird. Like, just, I don't, of all things, like, it's always just like I said, like a hawk nose or hook nose, and I don't like it. Like, just stop describing noses like that. Like, I don't know. It's just, that always like bothers me. And one other really trivial thing is if someone's like underwater holding their breath, or they have to hold their breath for like any reason, or they're getting choked like in a fight or something, it's always their lungs were on fire, or they were burning, or about to explode. It's always one of those 3, but especially their lungs were on fire and their lungs were burning. Like, we just need to find some other ways to like describe it. Like, it's in every single book during those kinds of scenes, and I don't know. We just need to come together, brainstorm some other like terms to like do this, and just start applying them, because I'm tired of reading about and just like hearing lungs were on fire. I just don't like it. But so, like I said, those are pretty trivial things, but that was the Humbook Tag. Like I said, it's a little late, but hey, that's why I'm not going to tag people, because it's kind of like after Christmas and after New Year and everything. But anyways, thank you. If you stuck around this far into the video, don't forget to give me a like or subscribe or whatever. Thank you so much for watching. Also, I do have Twitter and Instagram. Already did my Etsy shop, but yeah, pretty much whatever. Even if you're finding stupid, annoying, trivial stuff that you need to change in your book, always remember, read victoriously.